Da, astăzi este, zic eu, un moment istoric pentru noi ca și țară, având organizat la București prima reuniune a Ecofinului Informal, Consiliul de Ministri de Finanțe din Europa. Pentru 2 zile, practic, capitala României devine capitala financiară a Uniunii Europene. Este o agendă, știți foarte bine, cu aceste ocazii, aceste consilii informale, se discută un pic alt gen de subiecte, dar totuși sunt subiecte de interes pentru noi ca țară și pentru Uniunea Europeană în ansamblu ei. Sunt subiecte care au la bază câteva studii făcute destul de bine și foarte bine fundamentate, legate de mobilitate, să spunem așa, costul de finanțare, piața europeană în ansamblu ei, care sunt perspectivele și care sunt actualele probleme.
A fost discutată deja în Consiliul Uniunii Europene, legată de introducerea unor cote la produsele accesabile, la alcool, țigări, poate și carburanți, nu sunt sigur. Până la urmă, de ce este necesară o astfel de directivă și care este poziția dumneavoastră cu privire la aplicarea ei?
Știți foarte bine, propuneri pot să fie importante să fie discutate, acceptate de către toți miniștrii de finanțe, dar punctul meu de vedere ca ministru de finanțe și astăzi președintele Ecofinului, cred că orice astfel de discuție vis-a-vis de noi taxări, noi cote de taxare, trebuie să se discute într-un cadru foarte larg și amănunțit, pentru că nu putem să spunem așa, să ne jucăm cu astfel de lucruri la nivel european. Este totuși foarte important să avem o abordare totuși unitară la nivel european, pentru că știți foarte bine, o discuție foarte aprinsă. Chiar Comisia a venit și cu o propunere de a schimba mecanismul de vot în cazul taxării. Asta probabil că și din dorința statelor mai mari care ar dori să impună o decizie și fiind poate deranjate de statele mai mici care pot să blocheze un astfel de proces. Sunt discuții foarte intense, dar nu se va ajunge totuși la o creștere de taxe în viitorul apropiat.
Situația din zona euro acum în această dimineață și, până la urmă, situația României care este? Rămâne aderarea 2024 în termen asumat?
Da, dimineața, știți foarte bine, este cadrul restrâns. Să discutăm primul în cadrul restrâns, în cadrul Eurogrup, niște finanțe ai țărilor membre în zona euro. După aceea va fi și o discuție în cadrul extins. România clar și-a stabilit acest obiectiv, 2024, acțiune de parcurs, dar îmi spunea chiar foarte bine cineva, ieri mă întreba, bun, dacă vom fi gata noi, dacă ceilalți vor accepta. Știți foarte bine că asta e problemă la nivel european. Vorbim de Schengen, vorbim de alte astfel de situații, când, cu toate că dacă suntem gata cu anumite, să zicem așa, cerințe îndeplinite, totuși decizia să e la nivel european. Dar România, în acest sens, are un plan foarte bine stabilit. Anul trecut, în decembrie, guvernul a aprobat un astfel de plan pentru trecerea la moneda euro. Ne ținem de el, noi ne îndeplinim obiectivele așa cum am făcut totdeauna.
Mulțumesc! Care de pe agenda reprezintă o prioritate pentru România și ce urmărim mai exact?
Eu ce vă vorbesc în calitate de președinte al Consiliului de Ministri de Finanțe, mai sunt vreo 2 luni de zile și după aceea puteți să mă întrebați și direct ca și ministru de Finanțe român, dar vă pot spune că teme de interes pentru care și România este, desigur, să spunem așa, atașată, este partea de migrare a forței de muncă. Este un subiect care creează probleme la nivel național, la nivel european. L-am auzit și pe domnul vicepreședinte al Comisiei, Valdis Dombrovskis, ieri, spunea de faptul, se referă la competitivitatea României și aici unul dintre elementele care poate duce la scăderea acestui indicator este și migrarea forței de muncă, atât cea calificată cât și cea necalificată, pentru că asta, într-adevăr, pentru România reprezintă o mare problemă. Mulțumesc, o zi bună!
Ar trebui să fie decizia doar eurozona
Hello, how are you?
Wishing you welcome to Bucharest, to this informal council of ministers of finance here in Bucharest. Our day, we will start with Eurogroup and Eurogroup inclusive meetings. On our agenda, there will be some important issues, as it is, let's say, the capital market union. We are discussing about the next institutional cycle, which will be the priorities for the next institutional framework. Yes, you asked me about the Brexit. To be very, let's say, honest, this is what I say from the beginning. I don't believe that finally the Brexit will be. I understood that there are some voices on this direction, that there will be a new vote in the parliament and for a second referendum, and hopefully, as a member of the EU family, I hope that the final result will be with no Brexit. This is my feeling, because we are, all of us Europeans, will be, I think the effects, negative effects, we cannot assess. It will be, let's say, the effect will not be good for both parties. So that's why I think that finally the Brexit will not be. This is my position.
The Eurozone budget. What is the point of Romania? What size and what goals should the Eurozone budget have?
This is what I said all the time in the meetings with my colleagues, that when we are discussing about the Eurozone, any subject discussed about the Eurozone, we have to discuss the same way, at the same level, also about the measures for the other member states which are not still in the Eurozone. So this discussion in a separate, let's say, parts or parties or issues, I think that it is not the right approach. So if we are discussing something about the Eurozone, we have to discuss about also the other part of Europe which is not yet in the Eurozone. Because at the end of the day, all of us will be part of this family of Eurozone. So we will see. It is a sensitive issue, discussion about this budget of the Eurozone. We have to see what means, from where, how it will be, let's say, set up, what will be put it on for the other part, as I said, for the other member states which are not part of the Eurozone. We will see. It's a very sensitive issue.
So you, with your colleagues, you're going to talk about important issues to tackle even for the European economy. Do you think that Brexit will kind of influence this mood about talking about the future?
For sure. As I said before, I don't think that somebody knows exactly what really means Brexit. So that's why I'm saying that it is a subject which not necessarily only in the financial area will provoke some effects, but there are also some effects on social part, and not only. As you can see, at the EU level, the discussions, the sensitive discussions are more and more, and so many. And hopefully, as I said once again, the Brexit not to be at the end of this process. Hopefully.
Are you expecting your British colleague to come today to participate?
Yes, this is what I understood, that my colleague will attend the meeting for a short period of time, but he will attend the meeting. This is what I heard. Have a nice day.
Of the slowdown of European economy.
Nowadays.
The Commission directive is regarding the excise goods in EU regarding alcohol, tobacco, and something like this. Can you tell us why is necessary this directive?
Nous n'allons pas parler aujourd'hui de fiscalité pour l'essentiel. Nous allons d'abord parler de la situation en Grèce. Comme vous le savez, la Commission a délivré il y a quelques semaines son rapport de surveillance sur la Grèce qui montre de bons progrès. Nous l'avons amendé et nous avons adopté une version améliorée lors de notre dernière réunion du collège. Et nous avons pu constater que de très bons progrès avaient été faits. Des progrès pour notamment améliorer l'efficacité de l'administration, pour réaliser certaines privatisations, qui est essentiel, et surtout pour mettre en place une version révisée de la loi qu'on appelle 4CELI, la loi sur la protection des résidences principales pour ceux qui sont en difficulté financière. Et après de longs échanges, nous avons maintenant un texte qui me paraît équilibré, qui permet à la fois d'assurer la situation des plus fragiles et en même temps de ne pas détériorer la capacité de la Grèce à améliorer sa performance en matière de crédits non performants. Et donc maintenant, je vais expliquer au ministre que la situation, et c'est aussi le sentiment des institutions, est à mon sens tout à fait en ordre. Et donc ils sont en mesure de décider, ce qui serait un bon signe pour la Grèce dans son progrès vers la normalité et aussi pour sa crédibilité devant les marchés, de décider le remboursement de près d'1 milliard d'euros. Voilà le point essentiel pour moi de cette réunion d'aujourd'hui. J'ajoute que nous allons maintenant accueillir M. Gualtieri, le président de la Commission des finances du Parlement européen, ce qui est un bon signe sur la coopération avec ce Parlement et l'Eurogroupe. J'y suis très très favorable. Enfin, nous allons travailler sur la mise en place d'un instrument budgétaire pour la zone euro, sa capacité de gouvernance et là encore on a fait de bons progrès. Je crois qu'il faut que cet instrument soit un instrument suffisamment flexible et capable aussi de faire face au ralentissement de la crise économique ou de l'activité économique que nous connaissons.
The latest economic data from Italy, does your compromise still hold on, given that the latest economic data point to a higher budget deficit for this year?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. What we see is a general slowdown in the European economy, and especially in two major economies in the Eurozone, which are on the one hand Germany, on the other one Italy. Of course, Italy is in a very delicate situation with growth which should be around zero. That's for the figures of the Italian government itself. We've got 0.2 in our own forecast, which I will actualize in a few weeks from now. Some even say minus 0.2%. And of course, this is figures that we need to follow very closely. But as far as any kind of decision has to be taken, it is for later in the cycle of the semester. We are going to have now the Stability and Growth Pact. We will see what the data are for 2018, what the precise forecast of 2019, and then afterwards, it will be after the European elections, we will have to see what kind of decisions we take alongside and together with the Italian government. I will have here a meeting with Minister Tria to take stock of where we are precisely and how we can move forward together because, of course, this question first has to be taken into account by the Italian government itself.
To see an agreement on the budget, on the Eurozone budget by June?
I think we've made good progress already on this tool, this instrument for governance that we are also going to discuss today. And I think we are keeping our pace and that we might have an agreement in June. But again, that won't be the end of the road. My view and the view of the Commission is that we must not lose sight of the fact that we also need to take into account stabilization when we talk about the Eurozone budget. And so we will have to come back to it. But first, let's stick to our mandate. Our mandate is quite precise, is to build this tool dedicated to competitiveness and convergence, and especially dedicated to reforms. And we are on the good path to do it.
Do you expect any issues with the disbursement of the next aid tranche for Greece? You said earlier that Greece made good progress, but is it enough?
Our assessment as a Commission, and we are talking, I believe, in full cooperation with the other institutions, will be positive. We have worked a lot, the Greek authorities have worked a lot to reach a point which is credible enough so that we can recommend the ministers to decide this disbursement. I'm hopeful.
Demander à la France de ne pas mettre en place la taxe numérique, qu'est-ce que ça vous inspire?
Je ne suis pas un membre du gouvernement français. Je pense qu'il faut que nos amis américains comprennent que taxer le numérique n'est pas quelque chose qui est protectionniste, que c'est sûr.
Finally. In Bucharest. Very good. I will see you here. This meeting will be yeah. Why we are not inside?
It's someone working on it. Yeah, very good. Yes. Very fine. It's the first time in Bucharest for my life. Yes. I'm quite impressed to see how this is here.
And also the evening for the gala dinner is also very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And you can see I saw it, yeah.
You see it? Yeah. If you want to put a very nice message for us.
If you ask me to do so, I will do so. So where I am.
Good morning, good morning.
Oh, thank you very much for this invitation. I'm the first time in
De dispute en ce moment entre la France et l'Allemagne et la Commission et les autres.
We've got several contributions on the table, which all of them are valuable. Of course, I defend the Commission's proposal of establishing, on the one hand, an instrument to consolidate reforms, and on the other hand, a stabilization fund. And I do not want this dimension of stabilization to be lost in the discussion, even if, for the time being, it's not at the core of what we are discussing. On building a tool, an instrument, which could be the basis of a Eurozone budget, I think we are making good progress, that we also need to take stock of the Franco-German ideas, which I consider really strong. And today I think we are making further progress on governance of this instrument. The governance must be efficient, it must be flexible, it must be also capable of addressing possible economic downturn. I think we are on the path to get to an agreement on the mandate that we received from the heads of state and government, a mandate which is still limited. And in my view, when we've done that, it's not the end of the road, it's not the end of the story. It's not the full Eurozone budget that I would expect, with then also a finance minister for the Eurozone, with the parliamentary control. We're welcoming today Mr. Gualtieri, but first thing first, no, we're working well and trying to merge all these ideas coming first from us, and that's quite normal because we are there to make these proposals, but also for countries like France and Germany.
Problem with stabilization? Why are some countries fearing that that might become too strong?
This discussion took place at the end of the previous year, in December, as well in the Eurogroup in the Eurozone summit. With stabilization, a Eurozone budget would be a much powerful tool to address economic asymmetric shocks. And it would also be a much more powerful tool to address the issue of convergence inside the EMU, because one of the main political problems that we face today is the fact that there are growing inequalities in Europe between countries, between regions inside the countries, and between people. And if we're not capable of addressing that, then we can face in the future very tough political problems. Some of our countries already know them. That's why I can understand that politically the idea was not mature enough, that there was a divide between political families and political sensitivities inside the council, but we will have to come back to that. It's absolutely indispensable, and we cannot do it another way.
Do you think it might become easier with Great Britain outside this discussion?
I'm not commenting on Brexit. We'll see what will happen. Good luck to those who work in order to find a solution. We need that.
Experts sign out that we're really ahead of an economic downturn. So what is, in your view, the most important issue to tackle?
Well, we absolutely need to enhance potential growth in all our member states. We will deliver a new forecast on the 7th of May, in a few days from now. We have to acknowledge that there is a slowdown inside the Eurozone, especially that two countries suffer from it, also more than others. Germany, but it might be temporary. We know that the German economy is very strong and nearby full employment with very strong competitiveness. And on the other hand, Italy, in recession or nearby recession, depends on the institutions that are forecasting the Italian economy. And so we will need to enhance potential growth. We will also need to recreate convergence. We'll must be very careful about this situation, but we must not be too alarmist, because we are in the 7th year of consecutive growth. All over Europe, growth is all over in our countries. We are just coming out of very strong years in 2017, especially 2018 also. So let's not let's cool down, but also let's work to have a higher level of growth in all our countries. And for that, competitiveness, productivity are the main issues, especially when you consider the Italian economy. The Italian economy suffers from that, for lack of competitiveness, lack of productivity, and needs to make the structural reforms so that it's based on a stronger ground.
Is there enough progress been made to grant another billion?
Yes, we have examined carefully the reforms made by the Greek government, as well on privatization, administration, and the so-called Katseli law for protecting primary residences from those who can suffer from insolvency. And our feeling is that enough has been done, so that I can recommend the ministers in a few minutes to deliver something like 1 billion euros to Greece. And that would be a good sign for this country, which has exited its program, which is now recovering confidence of the market. So it's another good day for Greece, hopefully. Thank you.
Non, gata entertainment.
Guten Morgen, wie geht's? Ja, alles gut. Ja. Ja. Last so, you know, the electoral law your backpack. So that's it. But everything is going to be better. There is a camera filming us, so I'm not going to answer.
Okay, I'll see. Very well, thank you.
Pour la conférence de presse, c'est très difficile de parler de
Semana Santa, especially, I was in Semana Santa. It was fantastic. Oranges, flowers, and all. It was fantastic. 21, 22 degrees. Okay,
See you in a moment. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Why? Why you do that?
Hey, how are you? Mine is here. Where's yours? Very good. Thank you very much.
Sei definitiv ein wichtiger Faktor, den nicht verlieren möchte. Sehen Sie das genauso?
Ich bin froh, dass wir so weit gekommen sind mit der Diskussion über das Eurozonenbudget. Das ist ein gemeinsamer Vorschlag von Deutschland und Frankreich, den wir im letzten Sommer gemacht haben. Und gemessen daran ist das jetzt in kurzer Zeit so weit, dass wir uns schon über die konkrete Ausgestaltung unterhalten. Wir sind jetzt sehr weit bei der Beschreibung des rechtlichen Rahmens und der Handlungsmöglichkeiten, die damit verbunden sind, und hoffen, dass das heute auch noch weitere Fortschritte nimmt. Ziel ist, dass wir bis zum Sommer fertig sind, und es soll eingepackt sein in die Strukturen der Europäischen Union. Es soll eingefügt sein in die Vereinbarung zum europäischen Haushalt, und dann, glaube ich, kann man etwas sehr Vernünftiges daraus machen. Die ganz konkreten Festlegungen darüber, welche einzelnen Maßnahmen damit machen werden, werden wir in den nächsten 2 Monaten schaffen. Ich glaube, dass es wichtig ist, ganz pragmatisch vorzugehen und sich etwas zu überlegen, das, ohne dass man großen Aufwand hat, auch weiterentwickelt werden kann, wenn die Verhältnisse es erfordern. Das ist, glaube ich, das Wichtigste.
Und der Stabilisierungsfaktor, sind Sie dafür, oder ist das eine rote Linie?
Für mich ist es so, dass wir uns entlang der Beschlüsse der Regierungschefs bewegen. Die haben gesagt, welche Zielsetzungen mit dem Eurozonenbudget verfolgt werden können. Und jetzt sind wir in der Phase, in der es darum geht, die Konstruktion zu entwickeln, damit das auch tatsächlich funktioniert. Ich bin aber sehr optimistisch, wenn man sich noch einmal zurückerinnert, als mein Kollege Bruno Le Maire und ich das öffentlich vorgeschlagen haben, dachte niemand, dass das jemals etwas wird, und jetzt diskutieren wir nur noch über die Details.
Wären die roten Linien?
There was a Wall Street Journal report yesterday that Germany and France have struck an agreement that Germany gets the ECB presidency and France gets the Commission presidency. Has there been such a discussion between France and Italy on Mr. Draghi's succession, and has there been an agreement on this?
There is a lot of rumor in the world, but nothing which is reporting about the reality.
What about on Brexit, Minister?
Dann würde ich Sie noch die roten Linien.
There's been a report that the President of the European Council is going to suggest a 12-month flexible extension for the UK. What will be the implications of this delay, Minister?
I hope that the British Parliament will be able to take a decision, and that the government and the British Parliament will have something to present to the European Union. And hopefully, in the end, we will have an agreement, because this is the best outcome for all the things which will go to happen.
Glauben Sie, dass im Brexit-Punkt das große Durcheinander nicht auch langsam die Wirtschaft der Eurozone und der EU gefährdet?
Wie stabil die Europäische Union heute ist, wie stabil auch die Wirtschaft der Europäischen Union ist, das sieht man daran, dass trotz der ja ganz aufgeregten Debatte über die Art und Weise, wie Großbritannien aus der EU ausscheiden könnte, tatsächlich nicht besonders schwerwiegende Auswirkungen gegenwärtig zu sehen sind. Das sollte uns optimistisch stimmen, dass wir in der Lage sind, mit jeder Situation gut umzugehen, die mit dem Brexit verbunden sein kann. Aber unsere Hoffnung muss bleiben, und unser ganzes Bemühen, dass es einen geregelten und vereinbarten Brexit gibt.
Vielen Dank. Über die EDIs.
Restate everything so that we get it.
Bukarešte ES finansų ministrai svarstome šiandien labai svarbų klausimą, ypatingai Lietuvai svarbų klausimą, tai darbuotojų migracijos, protų nutekėjimo klausimas. Ir visiems akivaizdu, kad eilę metų vienos šalis būdavo laimėtojos, kitos pralaimėtojos. Ir čia tikrai būtina ieškoti sprendimų tam, kad gyventojai, dirbantieji galėtų dirbti ir užsidirbti savo šalyje. Tam būtina rasti visas reikiamas priemonės ir tam, kad nebūtų taip, jog vienos šalis gauna finansinę naudą, o kitos iš esmės patiria didelius netekimus. Kalbant apie Lietuvą, tai mes turėjome pačią didžiausią migracijos bangą. Bet šie metai, aš tikrai tikiu, įvyks persilaužimas ir žymiai daugiau bus grįžusių namo negu tų gyventojų, kurie bando ieškoti laimės svetur. Taip pat šiandien svarstysime kapitalo rinkų sąjungos kūrimo klausimą, kuris tikrai ypatingai svarbus šalies ekonomikos augimui ir gerovės augimui. Dabartinė bankinė sistema nepatenkina to ekonomikos finansavimo poreikio, nes finansai turi keliauti ten, kur jie efektyviausiai yra įdarbinami. Ir čia taip pat reikia neatidėliotinų sprendimų. Ir viena iš priemonių, kuri tikrai gali duoti greitą rezultatą, tai spartesnis fintech sektoriaus plėtros skatinimas ir čia Lietuva taip pat turi kuo didžiuotis.
Congratulations. Oh, yeah. That's unbelievable. Almost balanced.
He has not taken over yet, but
I've been told that there's been appointed already. This meeting scheduled in Frankfurt a little bit later.
So we say 10 o'clock. We meet at the room. Okay?
Very good.
Thank you very much.
shake before the camera. Yeah. Everything well? Yeah. I mean, being in such a building is very impressive.
waiting
How's
for
the
me.
meeting? How's the meeting?
It went well. Yes. And Bruno was in a good respect. Yeah, also dynamic. Yes. Thanks.
The picture, the famous picture.
So let's take Thanks. Let's have a look at the picture. It's good. And I think, yeah. Oh, yes. So what did the colleagues do? They signed it, or?
Yes. They signed it.
Yeah. This is good.
I have to check with the person to see why this happened.
It's good painting because yeah.
Yes, with all of you.
Great. It's a great memory. You know, sometimes it's difficult to have the right expression. These are good. We recognize you. Yeah. He's really a caricature. Yeah, he's been kind to me. It's good. This is Ladislav. This is shot. This is really his expression. No? Oh, this is good. Really good. Ja. Ja. Sehr schön. Wir wollen, dass England nicht bestraft wird auf der einen Seite. Auf der anderen muss man sagen, dass Großbritannien wirklich sehr lange gewartet hat, um von seinen eigenen roten Linien wegzukommen, die sich ja selbst gegeben haben und dadurch natürlich die Verhandlungen sehr, sehr schwer gemacht haben. Ich kann nur für Luxemburg auch sagen, wir sind bereit zu warten und zu sehen, mit welchen Vorschlägen UK kommt. Und hoffentlich sind die klar. Die müssen nämlich klar sein, damit man sich schnell entscheiden kann, denn die Zeit läuft uns weg.
Welcher Verlängerung, welchen Zeitraum würden Sie zustimmen?
Ich glaube, wichtiger ist, was der Vorschlag ist. Wir haben jetzt 2 lange Jahre miteinander verhandelt. Die EU 27 waren da sehr harmonisch, haben immer dasselbe gesagt. Wenn man UK entgegenkommen sollte auf einen oder anderen Punkt, dann kann man das bestimmt ins Auge fassen. Aber es muss klar sein, wo es hingeht. Denn wenn die Lage jetzt noch immer unklar bleibt, dann hilft auch eine Verlängerung nicht.
Wie stehen Sie denn zum Eurozonenbudget? Soll es eine stabilisierende Funktion haben?
Luxemburg ist für mehr Solidarität in der Eurozone und wir plädieren für die Funktion der Konvergenz und für mehr Wettbewerbsfähigkeit in der Eurozone. Andersrum gesagt, diese neuen Gelder sollen verwendet werden, um den Ländern zu helfen, den Stabilitäts- und Wachstumspakt einzuhalten und zweitens auch ermöglichen, in schweren Zeiten zu investieren. Denn wenn man nicht mehr investiert, dann kann man nicht mehr produktiv sein oder produktiver werden. Also das sind für uns die 2 wichtigsten Punkte, die man verfolgen muss.
Warum ist es so schwierig, da sich auf die Ziele und die Höhe dieses Budgets zu einigen gerade?
Also ich finde im Grunde den Vorgang sehr positiv. Also wir nähern uns einer gemeinsamen Position. Ich glaube, wir kommen gut voran und heute in Bukarest wird sich das meiner Meinung nach auch zeigen, dass wir sehr nah dran sind.
Ist das doch ein Kampf bis zur letzten Minute werden?
So ist es immer in Europa, wenn man da Kompromisse abschließen muss. Aber ich glaube, der Weg ist bereitgestellt. Wir müssen hier nur noch fertig gehen. Danke.
à mettre en œuvre une taxe sur les plus grandes entreprises du numérique pour apporter plus de justice et plus d'efficacité au système fiscal international. Ce projet de taxe française sur les grandes entreprises du numérique, elle a déjà été adoptée en commission à l'Assemblée nationale et elle sera adoptée dans quelques jours à l'Assemblée nationale pour apporter plus de justice et plus d'efficacité à notre système fiscal. D'autres États européens se sont engagés dans la même voie. C'est le cas de la Grande-Bretagne, c'est le cas de l'Autriche qui a annoncé une taxe sur le numérique à un niveau de 5%, plus élevé que le niveau français qui est de 3%. Ce que je veux dire à nos amis et alliés américains, c'est que pour éviter la multiplication des taxes nationales, il faut accélérer les travaux à l'OCDE. J'aurai l'occasion de voir mon homologue américain Steven Mnuchin début mai à Paris. Nous allons accélérer les travaux à l'OCDE pour avoir une taxation internationale des grandes entreprises du numérique qui est la meilleure solution. J'espère que nous pourrons parvenir d'ici 2020 à un accord au sein de l'OCDE sur la taxation des grandes entreprises du numérique. Et dès qu'il y aura un accord à l'OCDE sur la taxation des géants du numérique, nous retirerons notre taxe nationale. Donc je crois que c'est une incitation à aller plus vite, plus loin sur l'adoption d'une solution internationale à l'OCDE.
Can I ask you about your discussion this morning with the head of the SSM? What do you expect from this discussion? And more specifically, that Germany seems to be actively pursuing a policy of a national banking champion. Do you agree with this policy?
I think on the last point, I don't want to make any comment on national decisions, but there is a need for banking consolidation within the EU. And I think that this question of more consolidation in the banking sector, but in other sectors too, is a key for the improvement of the situation within the Eurozone and among the 27 member states of the EU. On the discussion that we will have today, we are concerned about the growing divergences among the 19 member states of the Eurozone from an economic point of view. When you are looking at the economic situation within the Eurozone, there are growing differences and growing divergences among the member states of the Eurozone. And within a common monetary union, there should be more convergence and not more divergences. So there is a need for strong decisions as soon as possible to reduce the divergences among the 19 member states, because I really think that there is a concern for the future of the Eurozone if we are not able to reduce the divergences among the 19 economies of the Eurozone. That's why we will ask for quick and strong decisions concerning the Eurozone budget. I think that the Eurozone budget is the right tool to reduce the divergences among the 19 member states and to put more convergence within the Eurozone. That's why we will ask for quick decisions on that point, and we will also ask for a governance by the 19 member states for this Eurozone budget, because we can't accept to have a Eurozone budget which would be decided and put into force by the 27 member states. It's up to the 19 member states to decide what the level and the functioning of this Eurozone budget should be.
Given the slowdown in the European economy in Germany and Italy, do you think that the Eurozone needs some sort of a stimulus to reverse the slowdown?
The Eurozone needs more convergence. And we are concerned about the growing divergences. We are concerned by the slowdown in Germany and by the recession in Italy. I think that this current economic situation clearly proves that there is a need now for decisions. France is asking for strong decisions and has been asking for strong decisions for many months on the banking union, on the capital market union, on the Eurozone budget. Everything is on the table. Now it's time to decide. And today we will focus on this question of the Eurozone budget. This is the right tool to put more convergence among the 19 member states. This is the right tool to put more investment for innovation within the Eurozone, and this is also the right tool that should be led by the 19 member states through an intergovernmental agreement. So that's why I will ask very strongly today to take those decisions as soon as possible and at the latest by June.
The President of the European Council is reportedly considering a 12-month flexible extension to Brexit. What are the implications of extending the Brexit date, Minister?
The French President has made very clear that we need to understand an extension, what for? If we are not able to understand the reason why the UK is asking for an extension, we can't give a positive answer. So that's why we are asking to have the reason why the UK and the British government is asking for an extension. And it's up to the British government to give an answer to that key question.
Minister, how close are you to an agreement with Germany on the European Commission and ECB job? The Wall Street Journal reported yesterday that you will get Commission job in exchange for Jens Weimann becoming the ECB president.
It's too soon to make any comments on that question.
But are you
really too soon?
Just
Thank
one
you.
final question,
Thank you.
Minister.
Yes, it's my first time in Romania. Bucharest is wonderful. It's really wonderful. Beautiful city. When was it built?
In the 70s. Here, in front of the parliament, to modernize the main streets, so to have the center.
It's really beautiful. And the organization is perfect. Next time I will spend a weekend in Bucharest. See you. Congratulations. No, you love this? No, you love this?
We have to say
Thank you. Vous voyez qu'il y a des...